with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears have gone.
Leviticus 15:25. When a woman has discharge of blood for many days at a time, other than her monthly period, or has a discharge that continues beyond her period, she will be unclean as long as she has the discharge, just as in the days of her period. Everything that I am can be summed up in this single verse, this unchanging scene. My whole world could be written in this single word, unclean. My parents have paid more than both their lives combined. My father exchanged so much for just an answer to why the bleeding wouldn't stop. My mother wept for nights because this was a wrong that she couldn't make right. I would be alone, unmarried, and unworthy because my own body made me dirty. And my whole life was broken by this line. From the scrolls of ancient times, I am now put aside by the divine. And we all know that the law is the law. And it goes beyond any kind of hurt expression or personal depression. You see, my condition had become my transgression. And somehow that pain was worse than the fact that I couldn't stop bleeding. The isolation turned into fear, and it just kept breeding. And all that I had and all that I owned, I gave just to get rid of this. But the doctor said that maybe you just breathing is already bliss. So by the law, I shouldn't be here. Why am I standing here? Who am I to think that he would lend me an ear? My body is stained with disease, it's wrecked by sickness. Even just standing in this crowd is a weakness. So how could I be worthy to come before him? But my heart is reaching. Every tear that I have cried is preaching, do something more. And that was the beginning of the war. One step forward. The thoughts swim through my mind like fish in the sea. Where is he now? How will I even get to him? How far is he? Did I have to scream out my illness? Did they have some kind of program? Because I don't even know how to explain what I am. 2 steps forward. The voices of the people rise as he nears. A wave of hope sweeping over the people as he appears. They bring all their sick and they push forward their young. I stand behind and I hear the name on their tongues. Yeshua, son of David. 3 steps forward. Around him, his young disciples are glaring at the people who were desperately grabbing. And in that moment, I feel like it's no use. Maybe I'm just better off being a recluse. But I see him, his face covered slightly by his shawl, his robe simple, he's not even that tall. He looks nothing like the promised king that we were searching for, but yet something tells me that he is so much more. 4 steps forward. Jairus, the temple ruler, leads them. Obviously, they have somewhere to go, but maybe I don't need him to stop. Maybe I don't even need him to know. I just need to reach out beyond all these folk and brush my hands on the fringes of his cloak. My nagging desperation turns into sheer determination. And I watch him come closer, close enough to see me. And with a gasp, I fall on my knees, straining from where I am to feel the fabric fluttering in the wind, and the soft strings run over my fingers like feathers over my skin. I straighten up and I take a step back. The people around me clamor for attention. Within me is an unexplainable kind of tension. My heart pounds in my ears, my chest heaves, and my soul breathes in the fact that I am healed. Completely well. The reality is ringing like bells, and the tears roll down my cheeks, and I want to run down the streets and scream, it's over. 12 years of wishing, waiting, and weeping, settled by the tassels of his cloth. Could I be dreaming? But his voice rumbles like thunder on a still night. I feel joy morph into fright. A single question stops all my glee. Who was it that touched me? Jairus turns in stress, while all the disciples try to suppress their look of disbelief. I keep standing. A curly-haired disciple with some irritation says, "Rabbi, everyone is touching you. What do you mean, who?" But Yeshua says, still hunting with his eyes as the crowds try to flee, "Someone touched me. I felt power go out from me." My blood froze in my veins. I felt like I could choke from the shame. Was it possible that I was stealing? Me, a theft of his healing? And all those years of hiding, all those moments when fear was deciding what I could and couldn't do, all those times when someone came close and I only knew about the blood that flows, and all the memories slinked around my neck, yanking me back. I wanted to run, to be anywhere but there, to escape everyone's stare. But it dawns on me like the sun rising above the mountains. His healing had washed over me like a fountain. I was no longer unclean. He had changed the scene. The curse was broken. The gates are open. There is nothing left to be spoken except it was me. My voice was so small, but yet he turns. I take the steps toward him all over again, and every part of me yearns to escape the stares, the whispers, the eyes. The tears flow without me knowing why. And at that moment I fall on my knees and I lower my head at his feet. "I'm the one who touched you." And in front of all of these strangers I begin to pour out my shame. How the word unclean had become my name. And how my heart had begged me to reach out, even if it meant that I could be kicked out. And he listens. A smile that stretches across his warm eyes fills me with something deeper than I had ever seen. And for the first time, someone looked at me like I was clean, like I was whole, as if for the first time I had finally come home. No longer was I fearful of the heavens above, because he was here and I was diving into pure love. And he leans towards me, and there's nothing that he doesn't know. "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Now in peace you go." He pulls me up gently. His smile makes me feel like all of heaven was pleased. And as he walks away, the crowd is quiet with disbelief. But there's nothing else that I can see, because I was finally free. I run home and I dash through the door. I threw myself into my parents' arms as if I never had before. And I knew that if I had listened to the law, if I went by what I saw, if I didn't reach out to him somehow, I wouldn't get to hold my parents like I could right now. So to the girl stuck in your frustration, reach out. To the man stuck in the sin of your generation, reach out. To the child who's never had the love of a father, reach out. He is the streams of living water. I promise you, if you reach, he will reach back, and you will be healed.